Chapter 11. An anti-counterplan. A carriage quickly exited Song City. Within the carriage was the stunned imperial grandson, Song Zhengxi. Gu Hai gave a slight burst of light laughter and shook his head. Imperial grandson, can't you see through it? Today is just a play. You are the imperial grandson. Don't you understand the situation today? What situation? The current emperor. How old is he now? My grandfather is 82 years old. What do you mean? Song Zhengxi said blankly. The battle between Song and Chen. Do you know about it? The only thing left of Chen is Tiger's Nest. But it seems like there's a Gu Hai leading the army now. It seems to be very powerful. Even Gao Xianzi was afraid of it for 3 minutes before the strips were reintroduced. Song Zhengxi frowned. Gu Hai smiled faintly and said, 800,000 troops of tigers and wolves, 100,000 troops of sheep, who can return to their heavens when the tide is turning. A little old man will do. Can you believe it? He, Gao Xianzi, is a famous general, leading a fierce and invincible army. Song Zhengxi began to be suspicious. Gu Hai smiled faintly and didn't explain. What's going on? You tell me. What's going on? Song Zhengxi couldn't figure it out. Instead of answering, Gu Hai looked in the direction of the royal palace and sighed slightly. The emperor, too, is getting old. Buzz. A roar went off in Song Zhengxi's head, and it was the master judge on the side who was shocked into a cold sweat. Are you saying that my father is going to usurp the throne? Song Zhengxi said with a jolt. With this jolt, he didn't know if it was fear or excitement, and his eyes stared at Gu Hai in death. Gu Hai smiled faintly and said, I didn't say anything. I see. 800,000 troops. Father followed to the front line, mainly to get hold of an 800,000 strong army. Collecting the Chen kingdom, just a matter of raising his hand. Father didn't destroy the Chen kingdom right away. Just to buy time. Father will be making a big move. Gu Hai looked at Song Zhengxi. This imperial grandson is young, but his heart is quite dark. This shady thing, he just opened his own head, and he was able to mend his own brain. Gao Xianzi has long been my father's subordinate. I get it all. But why did Gao Xianzi come back to force the imperial grandson to create death? The master judge on the side knew he could only go one way after hearing this. On the side, Gu Hai stared at Song Zhengxi. Sure enough, this person's heart was incomparably dark. Let me ask you, what about Lin Chong and his group? Song Zhengxi suddenly frowned and asked. Gu Hai revealed a cold smile and said, do you think that they can still come back alive, right? Marshal Gao is so good and made such an excuse, Song Zhengxi immediately said excitedly. Imperial grandson, now that you're dead, so you can't appear in Song City anymore, or even, the news that you're alive, can't leak a single bit. Gu Hai solemnly said, I understand, you guys send me out of the city, but where am I going to hide? Nowhere is safe, or could be discovered. There's only one place that's the safest, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Where? Gao Xianzi's barracks, beside the crown prince. Marshal Gao has already prepared a carriage, so you will leave Song City immediately and head to the military camp. Okay. Gu Hai stared at Song Zhengxi. Song Zhengxi nodded excitedly. Good. I'll listen to you. Song City. On top of a small hill outside the city, Gu Hai stood with his arms folded, looking at the carriage carrying Song Zhengxi away. Behind him stood Gu Han. Righteous father, everything has been arranged. There's going to be a good show at Tiger Prison Pass, Gu Han said with a smile. Gu Hai nodded. Outside the Tiger Firmament Pass, 800,000 Song troops pressed forward, vast and majestic. The 800,000 Tiger and Wolf army at this moment, each and every one of them, had a high spirit of war. Although they had been upset by Gu Hai's conspiracy some time ago, but all of them were confident that the marshal would definitely give everyone an explanation. The imperial grandson of the dynasty, So what? The letter that came recently even more clearly describes the situation at home. Everything is calm and quiet. Nothing has happened at all. The camp of the Lord Commander, the Crown Prince of Song, has an annoyed look on his face at the moment. He had already arrived outside the Tiger Prison Pass, counting the time. Gao Xianzi's group of people should be coming back soon. When Gao Xianzi comes back, it also means that Prince Song pinched the brush in his hand and could not put down the pen for a long time, constantly taking deep breaths to suppress the annoyance in his heart. His own son was decapitated, and he could do nothing about it. Gu Hai, the hatred in Crown Prince Song's eyes grew. Crown Prince, someone outside the hall respectfully said. Come in. Prince Song suppressed the anger in his heart and put down his brush. Soon, an official walked into the big tent. The official's face showed joy, but when he saw Crown Prince Song's gloomy face, he immediately looked solemn, guessing that he was grieving over the death of the imperial grandson, and that he absolutely couldn't show his joy. Crown Prince, it's only the second day since we arrived outside the Tiger Prison Pass. 36 people have already escaped from the Tiger Prison Pass and surrendered to us. That official clenched his fists and said. And inside the Tiger Firmament Pass, it's already starting to be chaotic. God help our army. That official couldn't help but laugh. That the Emperor takes a new morning. The Crown Prince naturally laughed not up. That official a look at the Crown Prince expression. Suddenly face changed. Once again becomes serious. Already 36 people. They defected. Can they bring any news? Crown Prince Song said in a deep voice. Yes. This group of people are some of the Chen Kingdom's former noble sons. If the Chen Kingdom is destroyed, they have nothing left. They escaped. Just a fight for a birth. Naturally know everything. Said everything. The number of troops inside, the strength of the four sides of the defenses, and even where the Commander-in-Chief's camp is located, were immediately informed. Prince, later I will collate the most detailed information to you. What is the arrangement for this group of people for the time being? That official asked. Take them into custody first. Ask for all the information, even all the circumstances of the ancient sea. Remember, I want all the circumstances, Prince Song said in a deep voice. Yes, the official answered. The official retreated out. Prince Song's face remained gloomy for a while, his eyes glowing with blood, as he looked in the direction of the Tiger Firmament Pass in the distance. Gu Hai, you forced my son to die. I want you to exterminate your clan, Prince Song muttered to himself with a gloomy face. Inside the Tiger Prison Pass, inside a large hall, Gu Kim pretended to be Gu Hai, sitting on the main seat, looking at a pile of information in front of him. Beside him sat Chen Liangyi and Chen Chonchen, the two of them, although their status was honorable. However, seeing the white-haired Gu Hai's calm and relaxed expression, one by one, their anxious hearts calmed down a lot. Several officials looked at Gu Kim worriedly. Ancient Can stopped the work at hand, looked at a group of officials, blandly said, Fear of what? This Tiger Prison Pass, a man cannot open. 120,000 troops here. I have reinforced the walls, as well as the four sides of the heavenly dangers. 800,000 troops how? Even an army of 8 million will not be able to break through the gate. Isn't Gao Xianzi's return in defeat an example? Yes. The crowd nodded their heads, although they were still worried, but, seeing Gu Hai speak so lightly, the crowd was instantly much more relaxed. Marshal, 36 soldiers defected the night before last. 3 of them were also junior generals who had heard of your various arrangements. Will they leak out our army's secrets? A red-robed official had an anxious look on his face. As soon as the red-robed official opened his mouth, the other officials also revealed their worries. Report. There was an outcry in the Great Hall. It's over. It's over. What can we do? More and more people are defecting. It's a huge blow to our army's morale. Next, more and more people will defect. The officials were talking, all anxious at the moment. Finished. Chen Liangyo said with an ugly face. Chen Chonchen was also anxious. Looking to Gukin anxiously said, "Marshal, what now? Didn't you say you want to do a mobilization in the army? Quickly stop this trend." Everyone was anxious. Only Gukin, who was still calm and relaxed at the moment, picked up a cup of tea and gently took a sip. Chen Liangyi and Chen Chonchen were about to rise up in anger. At this time, a mouthful of tea down the ancient kin put a light sentence, let the whole boiling hall a silence. "What's the hurry? They were sent over by me," Gukin faintly said. Everyone was instantly dumbfounded, surprised. They looked at Gukin with awe in their eyes. Then, the officials who were anxious just now let out a long breath together, and each of them smiled, as if the anxiety due just now was not their own. Only a few officials, but at this moment is a steep pupil shrinkage, hold their breath. On the second day, the Prince of Song camp. Crown Prince of Song this period of time has been irritable. The pain of losing a son has not subsided. At this moment, a secret report has shown in front of himself. Prince Song looked at the secret report, steep pupil shrinkage. A group of subordinates in front of him, curiously at Crown Prince Song. "Crown Prince, what does the letter say?" a subordinate curiously said. HMPH. Prince Song's annoyance seemed to have a placed event as he let out a cold snort. Slap. With a slap, Crown Prince Song slapped the secret report in his hand on top of the table. "Crown Prince, last night another 86 people came to descend in the middle of the guard outside and brought the latest news. Should we?" An official asked in a low voice. "Come to surrender." "Ha ha 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 ha. Gu Hai, you really think I'm stupid, don't you? Using this trick on me." HMPH. Come on, tie up all those who have come to surrender. Escort them under the Tiger prison past Citadel and chop them up for me. Spies. This Crown Prince hates spies the most, or spies from Gu Hai. Humph. Prince Song let out a cold snort. "Not far outside Tiger Firmament Pass. Don't kill me. Don't kill me or, Prince Song, I'm here to surrender. I want to see Marshal Gao. I'm bringing news from Tiger Firmament Pass. Marshal, don't kill me. Please, let me go. I've come to surrender. I've brought news, don't kill me." Outside the Tiger Prison Pass, there were cries and shouts. A total of 186 people, at this moment, were tied up and brought to the Tiger Firmament Pass, not far from the city tower, as if they were demonstrating to Gu Hai. Above the city tower, Gukin stood with his arms folded. Behind him stood Chen Chonchen, Chen Liangyi, and a group of officials. Together they looked at the scene on the small earthen slope not far away, each showing a look of astonishment. In the distance, 500 Song troops, escorting the 186 people who had defected not long ago. "What's the situation?" Gukin faintly said. "If the generals want to see it, let them come to the city tower to see it." Oh. Chen Liangyi immediately nodded his head. Inside the Tiger Dungeon Pass, countless eagerly awaiting generals quickly rushed up to the city tower at a command and stood on the four sides of the city wall, looking into the distance. That's the left vanguard. That's Wong. That's Lord Zhong. Look, yesterday, they shouted for me to defect together. I ignored them. What's going on here? These are all the people who defected in the past 2 days. A large number of Chen troops revealed a look of surprise. Just then, they saw that on top of the dirt slope outside the city, a general-like person waved his hand. Chop, roar, rumble. 186 heads were immediately thrown out, their heads scattered. The people who had defected 2 days ago were beheaded by the Song army. One by one, all of them. In an instant, all the generals and soldiers on the Yuan Pass Citadel sucked in their breath. Some of the people who had originally been foolishly prepared to follow the defection, the original all-fluke psychology, suddenly disappeared. Defection. That's sending them to their deaths. In the distance, 500 Song troops stepped on their horses and quickly left, leaving 186 corpses in a pool of blood. The entire city tower was dead silent. "Marshal, you sent them out, but," Chen Liangyao said with an ugly face. At this time, Gu Qin was smiling slightly. "They weren't sent out by me. However, now there should be no more generals willing to defect and surrender to the enemy." Chen Liangyi was slightly stunned. 2 days later, Gao Xianzi finally returned to the camp from Song City. Gu Hai once said, "To surround 3 without 1 is to let them escape over, so that they have a fluke and can mess up by themselves. But you surrounded the one of the 3 without 1 as well. You didn't kill more than 100 traitors. You killed the Chen army's fluke. You killed the Chen army's heart. Now, they have no more flukes. They will definitely fight to the death. And then the tiger and wolf generals. But also compared to the generals who do not want to die. I'll be back 2 days late." "Just 2 days. Alas, alas," Gao Xianzi said with a bitter face.